Chapter 13. Dhritarastra gives half the kingdom. The news was out. The Pandavas had survived the fire, and now they wedded Draupadi. Duryodhana squirmed at the thought, and instantly started devising plans with Dushasana's advice to either cause dissolution and quarreling amongst the brothers by planting spies, or perhaps bribing them, or if they could make them fight over Draupadi. Vidura brought the great news of the Kuru's immense success and told Dhritarastra that the Pandavas were alive and well. Dhritarastra pretended to be excited at the news, but as soon as Vidura left the assembly hall, he was willing to hear Duryodhana's feelings and plans to eradicate the Pandavas once and for all by deceitful methods. But Karna had enough of trickery and suggested, "Let us just fight them." Dhritarastra was unconvinced and summoned his counselors. Bhishma, Drona, and Vidura all advised the same thing. The Pandavas be given half the kingdom, it's rightfully theirs, and to make allies with their new in-laws, Drupada. Karna rejected the sound advice out of an envious outlook on the Pandavas and spoke harshly against them. But Vidura's last words rang true in the king's ear, and it was decided that it was in the kingdom's best interest to return half the kingdom to the Pandavas. Vidura left the next day for Panchala. Upon arriving, he was graciously greeted by Drupada. Then the 5 tear-filled-eyed brothers touched his feet and lovingly embraced him. Then Krishna stood before his gaze, and he felt ecstasy as he embraced him. Vidura offered Draupadi golden ornaments studded with gems and rubies, and Drupada with a heap of gems and kind words from the Kuru dynasty. Vidura asked the Pandavas to come back to Hastinapur and reclaim half the kingdom, because the city misses you greatly. The Pandavas said that they were now under the care of Drupada, and they would defer to his approval and judgment. Drupada then deferred to Krishna's opinion. Krishna thought it was a good idea, but still deferred the final decision to Drupada, whom sanctioned it due to Krishna liking the idea. So the party set off and soon reached Hastinapur, where they were lovingly welcomed back by the ecstatic citizens. Bhishma and Dhritarastra received them, and they all entered the council chamber, wherein which Dhritarastra granted the Pandavas half the kingdom. But this was the uncivilized, uninhabitable half of the kingdom, mainly jungle and wasteland, that had been cursed by a rishi long ago when insulted by a former member of the Kuru dynasty. Yudhisthira looked to Krishna, who was smiling, and couldn't help but to feel everything's gonna be alright. He gladly accepted the land and soon set off for it. Accompanied and guided by Vyasadeva, the party found an auspicious place to make the kingdom. Vyasadeva invoked the Vedic rites to get the gods' presence. And then Krishna summoned Indra. Blazing like a lightning bolt, he bowed down before Krishna and asked him, "How may I serve?" Krishna requested, "Will you sprinkle your heavenly nectar so this land may be very prosperous?" Indra said, "Let it be so," and also summoned Vishvakarma, the architect of the gods, who began at once establishing the city, fully equipped with a marble wall mounted with turrets surrounding the entire city. Many white-columned large buildings stood around majestic gardens and lakes. There were dozens of golden temples that reached to the sky and a royal hall fit for the gods. The city attracted many peoples of all types and soon flourished and became known as Indraprastha. And the Pandavas enjoyed their time there with Krishna for a lot of time before he eventually had to leave for home. Soon after Krishna's departure, Narada Muni arrived. Yudhisthira graciously received him by offering him a fine seat and washed his feet. Narada Muni then began to recite a story for the brothers' benefit. He spoke of 2 demon brothers whom had been immensely powerful by performing severe austerities and had been granted a boon by Brahma, that they could only die at each other's hands. They wreaked havoc on the entire universe, even the demigods, for some time. Then Lord Brahma came up with a plan. He created a beautiful woman to attract the hearts of the demons, and it worked. As soon as she stood before them, they immediately began quarreling about who should wed her, and soon words turned to punching, and they were swinging heavy hammers at each other. They both struck each other and killed each other at the same time. Moral of the story, Narada told the Pandavas, don't quarrel amongst yourselves regarding Draupadi. The brothers agreed and decided to set up separate times to be spent with the princess, and a punishment should any of them break the promise was a year of exile.